Good morning, everybody. We are taking a look at what is now Hurricane Laura. Hurricane Laura formed just after 7 o'clock this morning, uh, starting to really develop a center of circulation, and this thing's going to intensify pretty quickly as we go through today and then through the day tomorrow as well. So we have some changes in the track that we saw taking place over the last 12 hours or so, and then this morning at 4 o'clock they went ahead and move things around as far as move the track a little bit farther off towards the west, and they also intensified it to a Category 3 as it comes in. But here it is on satellite right now, and you can see the swirl with this storm as it's starting to wrap up a little bit. Officially, winds are at 75 miles per hour, expected to maybe change over to a Category 2 as we head into early today on Wednesday. And let me show you some of the computer model forecast, and you can see them pretty much consensus right over parts of southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana. The consensus of the models is basically over southeast Texas, so I think that's why they shifted the track a little bit farther to the west. Let's take a look at the official track from the Hurricane Center, and there it is at the top of the page. Hurricane Laura, winds 75 miles per hour, moving to the west-northwest at 17, and as I mentioned, it's going to be traveling through the Gulf of Mexico today and tomorrow. Expected to be Category 2 by tomorrow afternoon, winds at 110, and then there is the latest update, have it as a Category 3 hurricane, winds at 115 miles per hour, and you notice the track is a little bit farther now off towards the west, so it looks like it's going to pretty much come right up the Sabine River. Category 3 major hurricane coming into southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. We'll go a little bit farther here on the track because I want to show you that this thing is going to be moving through very quickly as it does come through on Thursday night. Here is 1 o'clock on Thursday, 1:15 off the coast. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, it's already north of the area. Matter of fact, on the north end of Toledo Bend up towards Shreveport, with winds at 65 miles per hour. So we'll start feeling some of the hurricane force winds late Wednesday afternoon, or not hurricane force, but tropical storm force winds late Wednesday afternoon. And then as we get into the late evening hours, we could start to see some gusts, maybe up to hurricane force. And then, of course, as the storm comes on shore early Thursday morning, we could see gusts not only hurricane force, but up over 100 miles per hour, especially places like Orange County, Newton County, and parts of Jefferson County as the storm's eye comes in. And then as it moves across the area, of course, it'll weaken slowly, but definitely going to see a lot of rain and a lot of wind coming in with this. Right now we're looking at wind gusts, like I said, over 100 miles per hour. That means numerous power outages across the area. If you're thinking on staying, then make sure you have supplies to stay for a few days without any power. If you were kind of on the fence whether you were going to go or whether you're going to stay, maybe this update this morning has made you decide that you want to go. And if you live in Orange and Jefferson County's mandatory evacuation anyway, so basically you need to go anyway. But if you live up in Newton County, Jasper County, I would seriously think about maybe evacuating, even though the winds won't be as strong as it comes through there. Still going to be looking at some pretty strong winds coming through and some very heavy rains coming down. We're thinking rain will be about 4 to 8 inches as it comes through, but that's going to be a quick amount of rain in a short amount of time, because we're talking about 5 or 6 hour period where we're looking at about 4 to 8 inches of rain. So we'll see maybe some localized flooding. I don't think we're going to see widespread flooding. We're not going to see a Harvey situation where everybody's flooded out. It's going to be localized flooding like you would see in a strong thunderstorm that comes and sits over the area for a while, and you get some street flooding, or you have a backyard that's prone to maybe catching that water and filling up real quick. You might see something like that. Good news is that we've been dry for a while now, so a lot of that heavy rain will run off a little bit or soak up a little bit before we run into problems there. So once again, we're going to be at a Category 3 hurricane level, and then it's going to be moving off quickly and heading off towards the East Coast. And Category 3 basically is 111 to 129, and they're pegging it at about 115 as it comes through. So we're going to be kind of on the lower end of the Category 3, but still, it's a major hurricane. That's going to cause problems. Like I said, a lot of power outages. Might even see some roof damage, things like that as it does come through the area. All right, here's Futurecast, and this is kind of set up to see kind of what we can expect as we head through Wednesday night. 9 o'clock, we'll start to see maybe even a few bands of the outer bands of this thing starting to move into parts of southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana. We could see wind gusts there up around 50, 60 miles per hour. As we head towards midnight, the eye gets close towards the coast. Now, this computer model is going to send it up more into southwest Louisiana. The official track is just a little bit farther to the west than we're looking at here on this computer model, but you kind of get the idea. By 2 a.m., the eye should be close to land. Right around that eye, those yellow rings, that big yellow-orange ring, that's where you're going to see the strongest winds. That's where you're going to catch the 100, 115 mile an hour wind and the wind gust. And as we get into about 3:30, 4 o'clock on Thursday morning, it should be moving up towards a little bit closer towards the lakes area. Once again, we'll start to see strong winds around that eye. Luckily, most of southeast Texas will be on the west side of the storm, so we won't get the stuff that they usually see on the east side. We're talking about heavier rain, stronger winds, and maybe even some spin-up tornadoes. You do get some wraparound and might see a tornado on the west side of the eye, but overall, generally, most of the tornadic activity with a tropical system, you're looking at the east side. So we'll definitely be watching this as we go through Thursday morning and see exactly how far west it comes. We could still see a little bit of a shift towards the west. Okay, as we head towards 6 o'clock, that starts the weekend. It's up there towards the lakes area. As we head towards 9 o'clock, it looks like it could be north of the area. Rain starting to end, wind starting to die down. So it's going to be real quick. It's not going to last all day long. It's going to literally be from 10 o'clock to midnight on Wednesday night to, 7 to 9 o'clock on Thursday morning. So this is going to move through quick, which is good news as far as rainfall. Still, we got to deal with a lot of wind. And here's kind of a timeline. Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, over southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana. Tropical storm winds, winds starting Wednesday afternoon, going until about 8 o'clock on Thursday. In the triangle, we could see hurricane force winds, talking about 74 miles per hour or higher between, say, 9 o'clock Wednesday night to about 3 a.m. Thursday, and then hurricane force winds are possible up over the lakes area about 11 o'clock Wednesday night through 5 a.m. on Thursday. So that's kind of what we're looking at for the winds. Of course, with the winds coming in and the storm coming in, we have a hurricane watch for Jefferson and Orange counties, tropical storm watch for Jasper, Newton, Hardin, and Tyler counties. We also have a storm surge watch for Orange and Jefferson counties. Right now, I haven't seen the latest from the Weather Service, but earlier they were talking about anywhere from 7 to maybe 11 feet along the coast there between Jefferson County and over towards Cameron Parish. So Cameron Parish definitely could see maybe 11-foot storm surge coming in there. So that's going to be a huge problem for them. And I'm thinking we're looking at something like that over towards Jefferson County, probably maybe 5, 7, 8 feet, something like that. Like I said, we'll have to take a look and see what the latest storm surge maps are showing. But rainfall amounts, heaviest, of course, is going to be on the east side of this system, where they could pick up 10, 12 inches of rain fairly quickly over parts of southwest Louisiana. You notice how the rainfall amounts taper off as you get on the west side of the system, but still we're looking in general 4 to 8 inches of rain, with some isolated places picking up more than that. So like I said, once again, some localized flooding is possible, but we're not expecting widespread flooding. The big deal with this thing is going to be the winds that come in over 100 miles per hour. 7-day forecast showing you 100% chance of rain Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Also see those wind gusting up to 80 miles per hour. Maybe Wednesday late evening, 100 miles per hour. First part of the day on Thursday, the early morning hours there. Once we get into Thursday afternoon, it moves to the north, but still draws in a lot of moisture. And with the heating of the day, we could see a good coverage of rain for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we'll keep rains around, but there'll be scattered showers. It's not going to be the heavy, steady rain that we're going to see with the actual hurricane. Once again, if you're just joining this live update, I want to show you the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Laura, winds are at 75 miles an hour, moving to the west-northwest at about 17. They're expected to be a Category 2 and then eventually a major hurricane right before it makes landfall across southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Yes, yesterday the track was a little bit more over towards Cameron Parish. Today, or this morning, they've moved it right along the Sabine River, Sabine Pass, as a Category 3 hurricane at 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. It'll quickly move north of the area as we head into Thursday afternoon. And so it's not going to stick around. It's going to move through very quickly and then it continue to move off towards the north from there and then eventually off towards the east. So just want to give you this quick update that says we officially now have Hurricane Laura, and it will continue to strengthen as it moves across the Gulf. I can't see those, Corey, so if you can kind of relay those to me. Okay. I'm getting some questions on Facebook, and unfortunately I can't see those questions here. Maybe, oh, here we go. I can start to see them now. Will Mid-County get storm surge? Yeah, you might get a little bit of storm surge, but I think the main threat is going to be along the coast, and then yeah, you might see a little bit as you get up into along Sabine Lake, Bridge City, over towards Mid-County there. Like I said, I need to check with the National Weather Service. Earlier they were talking about a 4 to 6 foot storm surge. But that's back when they had it a little bit farther off towards the east and they had it as a Category 2. So we might be looking at a little bit higher storm surge now that it's 3 and now coming kind of right up the Sabine River. As far as damage, we're going to look at trees down. We're going to look at power outages. Like I said, we won't see widespread flooding, but we could see some localized flooding. Usually with a Category 3, you see numerous power outages. Once you get to Category 4, that's when you're talking about power poles coming down and things like that. Category 3, usually you just see maybe some roof damage, some trees down on power lines, which is better than, if you think about it, tree down on a power line can be fixed a lot quicker than if a power pole is broken in half and goes down. You have to replace the whole pole and rewire it and everything. If there's a tree on some lines, you take that off and kind of tighten back up the line. So hopefully it'll just be some trees down and some power outages that way. Can you compare it to Ike or Rita? Rita was a little bit stronger storm, especially out in the Gulf. Matter of fact, Rita was ramping up to a very major hurricane, and then it weakened as it came in. So it weakened down to a Category 3 before it came in. Very similar track, though, to this. So we'll see similar situation to Rita. Like I said, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens as it gets out into the Gulf and exactly how it intensifies. If it comes across and builds up to a 2 and then eventually builds up to a 3 right before it makes landfall, I don't think we'll see quite the storm surge that we saw with Rita, which was actually a major Category 5, and then it kind of weakened before it made landfall. So it might be a little bit different there in storm surge as far as Rita is concerned. Definitely going to see those winds, though, about the same with 115 miles per hour. So, yeah, should you stay or should you go? That's a lot of people asking that this morning. I think if you live Orange or Jefferson County, definitely you should go. You should be heading west away from the storm. Jasper, Newton County, it's going to be traveling right up through there. I think you should go. If you live in Tyler or you live in Hardin County right now with this track, that's kind of a iffy question. I'd say if you live in a mobile home, something like that, I would go. If I live in a substantial house, maybe don't have a lot of trees around my house, live just in a general neighborhood, maybe I would ride it out. But in general, if you don't like very windy and wet conditions, I would take off and be gone. Like I said, the storm should be out of here by Thursday evening, but we might be without power through the weekend. I'm not sure. So it's something to think about when you're thinking about evacuating and where you're going to go and how long you're going to stay there. I'm sure you can, wherever you are, you can catch our coverage, and we're going to have numerous reports, I'm sure, about power outages, what's up and running, what's not, so you can monitor that from wherever you go, and you can figure out when you're going to be coming back. Yeah, I don't expect to see widespread flooding. I do expect to see some storm surge, so we could see some localized flooding, especially along Sabine Lake, right along the coast, so we can see that stuff as we head into, especially going into Thursday night, Thursday morning. Tyler County, excuse me, Tyler County, you're looking at probably 2 to 6 inches of rainfall. You're looking at winds upwards of, say, 35, 45 miles per hour with gusts probably upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Hurricane force, we'll have to wait and see, especially, you know, it's going to weaken fairly quickly as it moves inland, but you're definitely looking at wind gusts probably upwards of 40 to 60 miles an hour, and that's still enough to knock out power and cause some problems as far as maybe knock over some trees and things like that. Hardin County, you're looking kind of at the same type of deal as far as the winds, 35 or 45, maybe 55 miles per hour with some wind gusts up around 60, maybe 70 as the storm tracks across the area. But you're far enough off towards the west that you'll get a little less in the way of rain, maybe about 2 to 6 inches of rain, and you still have the wind gust enough that you could be without some power as well. What time will it be in Beaumont? Well, we'll start to feel the tropical storm force winds, hurricane force winds as early as Wednesday evening, especially late in the evening as we get towards 10 o'clock midnight or so. Yeah, I have some of those questions. People asking, okay, well, if I'm going to evacuate west, where should I go? Can I go to Houston and be okay? Yeah, I think if it keeps on this track and doesn't come any more farther towards the west, you can go to Houston, Katy, Woodlands, and you'll be okay. You'll be running in, it'll be rainy, it'll be a little windy, but you're not going to see wind gusts to, you know, 50, 60 miles per hour. You'll see some wind gusts maybe gusting up to 20 to 30 miles per hour, something like that, and you'll deal with some rain. But they'll generally be okay if you're in Houston, Katy, and if you're going west of there, you won't see much if you're heading all the way over to maybe Austin, Waco, or somewhere like that. Now, if you're trying to evacuate north, you're going to be right into the track of this thing. So if you were thinking of going to Shreveport, thinking to go to Lufkin, you're just going to run into more of what we're seeing here. The winds won't be as strong when it gets up there, but still it's going to be a lot of rain and some pretty gusty winds. And also if you're heading east, of course, you're going to be running right into it. You'd have to go all the way over Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and still they're going to be on the east side, so they're going to be getting plenty of rain over there. So if I was going to evacuate, I'd be going west. I'd be heading to Dallas, Waco, Austin, San Antonio. I would be going somewhere to the west, and that's why you're going to be well on the west side. You won't be getting the rain, and you definitely won't be getting the wind. So if that was me, if I was going somewhere, I'd be heading west for sure. Once again, if you're looking up towards Angelina County, Lufkin, the winds are going to come down as you go up that way, but you're still going to see wind gusts maybe around 50, 60 miles an hour. You're still going to see some heavy rain as it tracks up. You can see that track is taking it right through Newton County, maybe even a little into Jasper County. So you're still going to be getting that wraparound from the storm, and you're still going to be getting some rain. So I would try to get west of there. I would try to get west of Lufkin, somewhere, like I said, a little bit farther out. Maybe, I think Conroe might be okay. If you're heading maybe to Conroe, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be far enough away that you won't see the strong winds. You might get some rain, but I don't think you're going to be running into the winds that you have to deal with. Let me try. I'm just kind of looking over some of these questions real quick as much as I can. I'm trying to update this a little bit. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm talking to our director, Corey. I'm not sure, but I do know this morning we were, where were we at live where they had buses to help evacuate? Ford Park. Ford Park and Port Arthur both have buses that are helping people evacuate who have reliable transportation to get out of town. So I don't know who you would contact there to find out more information about that, but Ford Park also, like I said, have some. Okay, great. He has the information up. If you're in Port Arthur and you want to evacuate, there's the number you call. And like I said, out at Fort Park right now, they're getting some buses together to help people evacuate as well. So Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, if I was in Jefferson and Orange County, there's mandatory evacuations anyway. I wouldn't stick around. I would be heading out of town and heading west for sure. All right, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I hope this was informative for you. I hope you got some questions answered for this morning. We're going to see another major update coming up at 10 o'clock. They'll update the track for sure, and we'll see what they're thinking at 10 o'clock. If there is some major changes, if it shifts back one way or the other, I'll jump back on and do another live report here. I don't see the track changing a whole lot as we go through the next day and a half. If it changes, I think it'll be, a little bit maybe to the east or west, but I don't see the track jumping all the way over to Houston. I don't see the track jumping all the way over to Lafayette or Baton Rouge. It's going to be little changes, maybe track changing over towards, maybe the track comes over closer to Beaumont, or track maybe changes back over towards Lake Charles. We're going to see little changes, I think. I don't think we're going to see a big swing in the track as we go into tomorrow night into Thursday. So what we see right now is, I think, was pretty much what we're going to see over the next 24 to 36 hours. Like I said, it might switch one way or the other by a few miles, but that's about it. All right, we're going to sign off here. Like I said, I hope I answered some of your questions. We appreciate you watching. 10 o'clock update, be looking for that. We'll be posting that on social media. And like I said, if there's a big change there as far as the track shifting back to Southwest Louisiana, or they adjust the category or something like that, which I don't see. I think they're going to probably stick with what they got now. We'll jump back on and give you a live update. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. If you're going to be evacuating, very safe travels to you. Be very safe. If you're going to be staying here, once again, be very safe. Make sure all the stuff around your house is picked up. You don't need anything flying around. Make sure you have all your supplies. And like I said, just be very safe. If you're traveling down the roads, pack your patience. Take your time, and I hope everybody stays safe. Like I said, we'll be doing more updates and keep you updated on Hurricane Laura.